Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Kiv, your favorite degenerate, and today I want to talk about Halo Infinite's motion tracker because honestly, it needs to be bigger. I don't really like to make a lot of videos talking about negative stuff, but I want to give feedback to help Halo Infinite be as good of a game as it can be, and I don't really think I have a huge voice in the community, but I do want to voice my feedback anyway, and just put something out there. Maybe someone else sees it, and it helps to kind of push a bigger YouTuber to make something, and then we get some change. But yeah, I want to go through some examples and break it down today. I guess the 5-second summary for this entire video, it does all kind of boil down to the good old saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And I did make a previous video giving my feedback on it, and it was actually really good to see that 343 did listen to the community when we all collectively said, no, we don't want Halo 5's competitive settings, we want proper motion tracking, because otherwise, you just honestly can't see someone when they're sneaking up on you. And I have to admit and give credit where credit is due. The current motion tracker is much better than when we got it in the first round of flighting, and it has improved a lot. You can actually use it to see what's going on. So things have progressed in a good way, and we have had good changes. I'm just saying we need to tweak that a little bit more, because the movement speed that you have in Infinite is just much faster than, most other Halos. And because of that, you'd be surprised how quickly someone can actually cover the distance in this game. Especially when you're aiming down sight and you are focusing on holding an angle or just trying to range someone, you don't want to have one of their teammates come up behind you and whisper in your ear like Joe Biden before you even realize what's going on. I felt honestly as if that was happening to me, where I would only see it coming in the last moment, because by the time it shows up on my radar and then I actually have time to react to it, they're pretty much within melee distance. And then you've got to consider things like the BXB glitch and, all of that fun stuff. So, I think that this is something that myself and the other people I was playing with noticed the entire flight for the past 2 weeks. So, I think that the range should be increased to 25 meters, and I don't particularly see much of a reason for why it was shortened in the first place. I mean, even after like 5 minutes of thinking about this, purely for trying to come up with a reason for 343 shortening the distance on the motion tracker, I just can't really come up with a solid point. The best I can come up with is maybe they wanted to create more of a skill curve, but even then, that's a stretch, because it's not a skill curve, it's a tool. It's something that you use to help you actually navigate the game and pretty much just figure out what you want to do inside of a multiplayer game. Now take all of that and then upscale it to big team maps. And then you realize just how bad that is. Alright, so let's look at some examples of what this seems like in-game. I come up on our base, I've got a teammate in front of me, and I notice an enemy on our right. But by the time I saw this enemy, they were already pretty much midway through the radar, and it doesn't really surprise me to say that they weren't using any kind of sprint at the time, and they weren't crouch walking. That was just normal movement speed. I have my settings for Halo Infinite on max FOV, so I literally see the person around the corner at pretty much the same time as when they came up on the radar, and that is pretty crazy, because I got totally caught off guard. This guy had the Bulldog, and it could have ended very differently if I didn't back away, so yeah. Now let's look at another example. So I've gone past the enemy team's tunnel entrance to their base, and I get shot up immediately from passing that. I die, and that's okay, but if you look at the enemy's position when they killed me, that is something that you should see on your radar, someone who's that far away. And in any other Halo game, I would have had some kind of an idea of that person as soon as they started shooting, at the very least. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend as if I would have won that gunfight if the range on the motion tracker was longer. I was gonna die, and that's more than fair, but the problem is that I didn't have the right information to make a better decision. I was far enough away that they weren't showing up on the motion tracker, so my years of Halo experience kind of told me, okay, well, if they're not that close, you can move and get out of the way, get your shields back, then turn around and fight them. And when they're that close and I can't even tell, I've got no chance. I mean, look, let's be real here. When it comes to big team battle for Infinite, because of the map size, you end up in medium range combat almost all of the time, and especially when you're trying to defend objective areas or trying to run a flag, you need to know what's going on around you, and if someone is sitting there with a commando or a BR, they are gonna be able to shoot at you from much further than 18 meters away, and you end up not getting the info you need, so you end up getting caught out by that. Now, I'm not all about complaining, so what's the solution to all of this? Well, if 343 really freaking wants to have that 18-meter distance, like if they have a burning desire to just keep the radar at that distance and that's what their information tells them is best, okay, rightio, whatever you say, but at least make the range of the motion tracker bigger and up to 25 meters in big team battle, because the engagement distance is bigger, so that just makes sense to me. But let me know what all of you guys think in the comment section down below. Have you noticed any issues with the motion tracker in this round of flighting? Do you agree with what I've said? If you don't, that's okay. Pop it in the comments and let's talk it through. So yeah, I think that's a good point to call it for today. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe so we can hit 1K before Halo Infinite drops. Let's go, guys. We can do it. A little bit more every video. But yeah, I've been Kiv, and I'll see you all on the next one.